Welcome everybody, my name is Michael and today we have beautiful weather all around us. We're at the park. We're actually making use of my sunroof, which I don't like because I hit my head. And we've got more news about one of the largest crypto YouTubers out there. He was the largest for quite some time, then Coin Bureau passed him. Now we've got multiple channels over 1 million subscribers, with Coin Bureau over 2. BitBoy is approaching 1.5 million. So definitely just taking a look at their channels. They've accomplished great heights, and I'm sure they're going to continue growing. And there will be a day where we're going to see a crypto YouTube channel with over 10 million subscribers. And once that happens, it's going to be absolutely life-changing, because by that point, that means that we've already... Whoa, what the heck was that? All right, that guy's really zooming. So by that point, it's not the YouTube subscribers themselves, it's the fact that there's so many people for one channel, which indicates I'm sure there's going to be 100 channels with over 1 million subscribers. And then we're talking about potentially over 1 billion people who are interested in crypto, because already certain subreddits have millions of followers. But there's one thing with cryptocurrency, with anything revolving around personal finance and investing, you have to be very careful. You have a lot of power. You could have 1,000 subscribers, and that is already powerful, because you can change the mind of one person, just one person, and you can change their lives financially for the better or for the worse. There's a lot of smaller channels, for example, those talking about scams and HYPs. I've seen a couple channels with a couple thousand subscribers where there's a lot of comments on those videos that they produce about, hey, I invested in this HYP, and there's a lot of risk involved with that. And yes, on certain small occasions, you can make some money and can maybe even make a lot of money. But it's extremely risky, and especially in crypto where there's a lot of volatility in these smaller altcoins. It's like penny stocks. At that point, once you're advising any project, there might be some scams along the way, as we've seen in the past with some large projects. Like one, oh, there's a bee inside. And it's now flying inside my car right next to me. Okay, had to monitor that bee because we don't want to swallow a bee if it falls into my can. Guys, we have a lot of power in cryptocurrency. No matter what size channel you have, no matter what kind of an influencer you are. I don't consider myself an influencer because I don't know anything about crypto and I don't know anything about investing. That's why I lost some money a couple years back when I was investing in cryptocurrency. And I want to teach people how to avoid the mistakes that I've made, because it definitely screws up your life for a little bit. But there's a lot of channels out there that get paid, and in some cases they're going to be called shills, where they're getting paid maybe $10,000 a promotion, maybe $35,000, maybe $50,000, maybe $100,000 for single promotion. And some of these channels put out so many of these promotions that there might be 1 or 2 scams involved, maybe more. Maybe if their vetting process sucks, there's going to be a lot of these scams. And once you have a channel of that size, it's not just one person's finances that you're playing with, or 2 people, or 50 people's. Some people might lose their life savings, because now you're talking about thousands of people that just from one video, just from one mention that could be 30 seconds, they're going to trust you because they see a successful person. And whether you are successful or not, you don't necessarily have to have those millions of dollars that you're talking about. There are some influencers on YouTube that are lying about their finances, and there's no proof. Nobody knows exactly how much you're making. Nobody knows exactly how much you're worth. You can fake it till you make it, and in some cases, these people are luring them into stuff where, like OneCoin, like BitConnect, like Laser Online, obviously those were straight up scams, but there's a lot of rug pulls. There's a lot of projects that are going bankrupt right now. It's a tough time financially, and the worst thing you can do is make a video where suddenly thousands of people get their finances impacted negatively because, for example, you didn't do your research. I'm not saying this about any one particular YouTuber. I'm thinking that most crypto YouTubers at one point or another have been paid for a promotion, and in some cases they didn't do their research. In some cases, even if they did their research, the projects didn't go so great. So what are we getting to? There's a couple channels out there that have immense power. When you're talking about 1 million subscribers and potentially 50 to 100,000 views per video, for example, BitBoy Crypto On Twitter, there was someone who posted his rates, and a lot of these rates are common, where sometimes for an interview or a promotional, you're seeing $35,000, $40,000. I've seen channels back in 2017, so now count that for inflation, where they were charging as much as $100,000. I remember John McAfee charging $1 million for a promotion, which is insane. I'm sure people have gone even further, depending on who you are. Sometimes you might be able to get away with that, and in many cases it's overpriced, it's not worth it. In some cases it is worth it, it's just the cost of doing businesses. It's mainly for B2B, so a business making money off of another business which can't afford it, but in some cases it's a smaller personal channel. I don't know. But one thing I do know is that there have been countless amount of times where a YouTuber has been wrong. It's not a shameful thing to come out and not be afraid and say, you know what, I messed up, I'm sorry guys, listen, we all kind of messed up, we invested in a project that didn't go so well, it was a rug pull, it was a scam, whatnot. But there's also the power that you could have a lot of great power that you're using, but you could also abuse that power. And BitBoy Crypto is one of those channels where there's a lot of YouTubers outside of crypto, but BitBoy Crypto has mentioned this specifically on his podcast live streams, where he's open to suing other smaller content creators. And that's scary because there's this whole thing called, in America, freedom of speech, where if you don't say anything illegal, there's certain things obviously that you can't really say. I mean, it's quite obvious what you can't say on YouTube. It's not just freedom of speech, you also have to follow the terms of services, so nothing that harms anybody or, you know, is bad in whatever way. But just talking about cryptocurrency, just talking about the safety of some of these investors, some of these young minds. There's a lot of teenagers and young adults that don't fully grasp what they're doing in crypto. And I think, honestly, I take full responsibility for my actions, but I was immature a couple years ago. The fact that I was a teenager who suddenly had a lot of money and didn't know what to do with that, I'm sure things would be a lot different, even if I never made those mistakes. But if I just got into that money a couple of years later, never had to deal with those mistakes, I'm sure things would be slightly different. Maybe not completely different, but you just react a little bit differently when you're older. And there's a lot of young teenagers that might be using their parents' money, or they might be using their summer job earnings and all their savings, and they might be investing in meme coins, and in some cases they might make some money, in some cases it might be a decent amount, but there might be certain cases where they listen to a YouTuber and things go bad. And it's just shameful that you have smaller channels that are trying to report about potential abuses, or in the case of this, where maybe nothing really negative was said, but there were multiple channels that have mentioned certain things that BitBoy Crypto did. And one of those was a outside channel that was not involved in crypto that has over 1.2 million subscribers. It's a Tozy. He's reported on a bunch of YouTubers, not just crypto. He made a video about BitBoy a while back, like a year ago. And it was just about some things that nothing said was bad. It was just opinions. Was there another B? Looks like there was another B. The B's like me. There was just some differing opinions. There was some stuff that was said that BitBoy did not like, and for that he threatened to sue, and I think he's going ahead with it. He's still able to withdraw, of course, but suing another content creator, in this case, well, there is another B. There we go. It's landed in my car. Just chilling. So certain comments were stated, such as, you don't know if he's trying to enrich you or himself, and blah, 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 similar things along that tone. And BitBoy Crypto came out in his lawsuit saying that he's suffering severe anxiety and he's worried that in his business he might be perceived as a fraudster, a felon, someone who's being untruthful in his business. And I think that's a little bit extreme, because there's a lot of negative comments on YouTube, just even on videos. There's a lot of negative videos out there. There's a lot of terrible videos out there. And there's always going to be hate. And whether it's true or not, whether it's a active response, it's just weird that you would go out and sue smaller YouTubers. In this case, it's not a smaller YouTube, but there was a case from a month ago where Ryan Mata was sued, or at least he was threatened to sue Ryan Mata, a channel that was threatened to be sued by multiple YouTubers, that he had his content removed and flagged and whatnot, by going out and speaking about a video that multiple large YouTubers were involved that eventually ended up being a rug pull. So he got upset that Ryan Mata was discussing about Costa, not only him, but multiple other YouTubers. There's been multiple cases where he claimed, BitBoy Crypto claimed on his live stream that he would, for false advertising or just misuse of his brand image, he would sue people, which that's an abuse of power. If you're either taking down people's content or suing them because something negative was said, but not that negative, it was just an opinion, and in some cases it might be true, not in all cases, but in some cases, it's just crazy that you're gonna have such a large channel and you're going to do everything you can to silence much smaller channels. What do you think, guys? I see this more and more, not just from BitBoy, but from other larger channels, where people are afraid to speak out. And there might be a large channel in the future promoting scams that people won't be able to speak out against because the smaller channels will be banned or sued. Yes, when you have no money, you are going to be afraid of getting sued in America for hundreds of thousands of dollars and then end up shelling out money for lawyers you can't afford. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.